I think that if you peel back the layers of the human body or the human psyche or the mind or the soul or what we could define ourselves to be human beyond physical or material aspects of our human body like skin, organs, and everything. Beyond all of that, if you peel back the layers of a human being like an onion, I think you get to a point where you reach your core and you realize how delicate you really are. And I think if you since we categorize people as sensitive people and people who aren't sensitive, people have who have thick skin, people who can stomach a lot of things, and people who are easily deterred by simple things, people who are softer, we can say. I think it's not a matter of them being more sensitive than us. It's that they have less layers to cover their sensitivity. So, so I think that at the core of every human is something so delicate and so soft that it must be protected. And if you've ever had that part of you touched or if you've ever felt that part of you and it triggered something within you, then that might have triggered your body to put so much layers over it and to protect it and to cover it. And so when you think that you've become stronger, it's just that you have a better defense mechanism for what is still vulnerable and soft inside of you. And all beings are vulnerable in their own different ways. They're all delicate in their own different ways, soft, sensitive to certain different things. And I think that if you ignore that and you just put up walls to guard that without even knowing what's in there, you're kind of not, you're kind of, um, you're estranged from your own body and from your own soul and from what triggers you and what is sensitive to you. Because I don't think there is a single human being who is tough enough to not have that. They are tough enough to protect it, tough enough to know that they can guard it from anything. But regardless, it's still in there. There's still something within you that is so vulnerable and so soft, so scared to look out of the window, so scared to see a single touch of daylight or a single touch. And depending on your experiences with it, or if you even know that it's there, or if you know what it's like to feel it, your body guards it in a certain way, mentally or psychologically. And I think it could be a thing rooted in childhood where, as a child, you had certain experiences that kind of triggered you or affected you, and that to this day you're kind of protecting that. Everyone has an inner child. It's what people are saying online, that you have an inner child that you're trying to protect, you're trying to make proud, and I think it is akin to that idea that everyone has a delicate core within themselves. And depending on your experiences and your own life, that delicate core inside of you, it can be a wound, it can be a bruise, it can be something that's healed. And I think often when people talk about the concept of healing your inner child, healing something within you, it's really that. It's not only recovering a wound or something damaged within that delicate part of your soul, but also getting to know it in the first place. Because often as a child, you're taught to disregard your feelings and to be mature and to grow up and be rational about things. But I think that there is an utmost importance in your own intuition and your own inner self that people might tell you to ignore. And if you ignore that for the rest of your life, then unresolved issues will come up, and that will be the root cause. So, looking into yourself in that sense and peeling through all the layers, no matter how embarrassing, how painful it is, and maybe just journaling about it or writing about it, talking about it with someone who you trust. It's like it's just an act of um, looking at yourself for what is really there and not ignoring it and not calling it immature or emotional or sensitive or too weird to discuss, because I think that looking into yourself like that and looking at what is really sensitive to you, it's not that it makes you more sensitive, it's not that it makes you a softer person or a more emotional person. It's that you can learn so much about yourself and you realize so much things about yourself that you didn't know. And what's worse is that if you ignore that to a certain extent, it might start um, expressing itself without you even knowing. You might be a very shy person without you even knowing, but other people around you can notice that in you because that inner self is has from being just ignored for so long. It's kind of expressing itself outward without you even knowing. And I think that even the most obvious character traits that you possess are affected by this inner child, this inner soul, this delicate part, the delicate core of your soul. And it's like you need to dedicate some time in there. You need to get in there, to crawl into your own mind, crawl into the cave of your mind, get there, no matter how weird it is, how painful it is. And for certain people, there are traumas in there. There are um, lots of wounds and bruises that you need to kind of step through, and it's a painful thing. And you can choose to do it alone, you can choose to do it with someone you trust. And I think that it's very important to know yourself in that sense. And to first accept the belief that there is something sensitive within you, there is something delicate within you, no matter how much you've been fooled to believe that you're strong enough, that um, that you have thick skin, that you can handle anything. It is true that you are strong enough, but only strong enough in the sense that you've built up walls to protect that part of yourself. When in truth, you should get to know that part of yourself so you can defend it better, and so you can use it to your own advantage. And I think if you're so in touch with that delicate part of your soul, you're so in touch with what your sensitivities are, then you can just live life more fearlessly. Live life knowing that you don't have to worry about that part of you because you know what its weaknesses are. You know how to treat it. You know how to react when something triggers it without becoming all defensive and playing the strong game, like pretending to be tough. And I don't think this message is just a message to make you a softer human being. It's really just to know yourself more. And I'm sure everyone wants to know themselves. That's why personality tests are very popular and all these kinds of things. And I don't think there's a single person who wouldn't benefit from this. I think that even though you think you know yourself so well, there's always something in there that you need to unravel and you need to see with your own eyes. You need to sense for yourself. And the more you're able to notice that, the more you're able to notice how sensitive you are, the more you're able to notice how soft you are inside. It's just, I feel that you have a better sense for yourself and you're more in touch with your own emotions. And I don't think that's a weak thing. I don't think that's a soft thing that is emotional, that isn't cool. I think that you need to let go of the belief that being in touch with your own emotions is something necessary. It's a necessity to live fully and to live fearlessly, to make sure that your emotions are something that you have beside you and not something that's supposed to distract you or to pull you away from what you really want to do. And this video is another short video. I think I just got the idea that all of us humans have a core, and that the human psyche or the human mind or the soul, whatever, that it has layers to it. There's always layers to something, and you can always peel it back and go deeper into yourself. And no matter how scary that may be, you're always gonna learn something new about yourself. And I think that's important for anyone who wants to master their own self. And yeah, that's the video for today, and I'll see you in the next one.